Hey there, I'm Malfoy, a regular college student with the usual stuff. Classes, tests, and a part-time job. But when night falls and everyone's partying or sleeping, that's when my true passion kicks in: gaming. Not just any games, though. I love exploring the hidden corners of the internet, the mysterious parts, the dark web. This super anonymous place with tons of secrets totally hooked me. I spent nights checking out new links and secret online groups, and sometimes even found awesome rare games. Lately, though, things have gotten creepy. My laptop, my best friend on these late-night adventures, started acting weird. Small stuff at first, like freezing or restarting on its own. I figured it was tired from all the use, or maybe a virus. Then things got way weirder. The screen would shut off by itself, even if I wasn't touching it. My mouse moved on its own, clicking on stuff I didn't. It was like my laptop had a mind of its own. At first it was kinda cool, like a spooky extra challenge, but the more it happened, the more worried I got. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone, or something, was watching me from the dark corners of the dark web. After digging deeper into the dark web, I found a new game. It wasn't easy to track down. I had to click through a bunch of weird links, each one getting more mysterious than the last. The game was buried way down in the dark web, hidden from everyone. When I clicked to download it, my laptop freaked out again. The screen flickered like crazy while the download bar filled up slowly. It felt like my laptop was yelling at me, trying to warn me not to play this game, but I was too pumped about the new discovery to listen. The download finished, and then suddenly, an email popped up from someone hiding their name with no title. The message was creepy and short, saying the game was dangerous and could mess with stuff way beyond the game itself. I stopped for a second. The email warning, plus my laptop acting weirdly, made me wonder if I should play, but then I brushed it off. It was probably just some jerk messing with me, like those pranksters on the dark web. A game can't hurt you, right? With a laugh, I clicked on the game icon. Big mistake. I had no idea I was about to enter a world scarier than anything I'd ever seen online. I opened the game, and a super creepy dude with a scary mask popped up on the screen. His voice sounded like a robot and was freezing cold. "Hey, Malfoy," he boomed. "Welcome to our world." My spine tingled. How did he know my name? Sir Burbu. This masked guy seemed to be spying on me, watching all my moves. I'd move my mouse left and he'd say, "Going left, huh?" Click on an icon. "Interesting choice," he'd creepily comment. It felt like he was sitting right next to me, breathing down my neck. The game I downloaded for fun was turning into a horror show. The masked dude, the freaky predictions, the feeling of being watched. It was the scariest thing I'd ever felt in a game. This wasn't just me playing a game, it felt like the game was playing me. Suddenly, the masked guy's voice got even meaner and scarier. "I can see you, Malfoy," he echoed through the speakers. I froze, my heart thumping like a drum solo. I peeked at the tiny camera on my laptop. The light was on! He could see me through my camera. He was watching me. Then came the ultimate scare. "I know where you live, Malfoy," he said, rattling off my whole address. Each word felt like a punch in the stomach. I went ice cold. This wasn't a game anymore. This was real, and it was seriously terrifying. The masked dude leaned closer to his camera, his eyes glowing like scary campfire coals in the dark. "We're the bosses of the dark world, Malfoy," he boomed. "We're the dark web Mafia, and guess what? You're stuck with us now." His words hung in the air like a bad smell. I realized I'd gotten myself into big trouble. I wasn't just a normal college student anymore, or just a gamer. Now I was tangled up with the scary Mafia of the dark web, and there was no way out. Even though he was super creepy and his words were terrifying, A part of me didn't believe it. I convinced myself it was all a big joke. Some messed up trick a bored hacker on the dark web cooked up. The masked dude, the Mafia, the threats, it was all just part of the game, right? With a smirk, I leaned into my laptop camera. "If you're really who you say you are, big shot," I said, trying to sound brave, "then come find me. Show up at my house." I knew it was a dumb move, challenging this creep like that, but I figured he was just a faker and that he wouldn't actually come after me. I was playing a dangerous game, but for a moment the fear disappeared, and I felt all pumped up instead. I slumped back in my chair, staring at the masked dude on the screen. Did I just mess up everything? Maybe the biggest mess up ever? An hour crawled by. I scrolled through random stuff online, trying to pretend it was all a nightmare, but then, oh my God. A loud knock on my apartment door shattered the quiet night. I practically flew out of my chair, my heart thumping like a drum solo. Slowly, I crept towards the door. Peeking through the tiny hole, I gasped. Two guys stood there, dressed in black coats with hats pulled low, hiding their faces. And in their hands, guns. It looked like something out of a scary movie, but this was real life, not pretend. The masked dude's threats, his creepy words, it all came flooding back. I thought he was just messing with me and dared him to come to my house. And now it seemed like he actually did. I scrambled back from the door, my brain on fire with fear. This game wasn't fun anymore. It was a total nightmare, and I was stuck. Shaking like crazy, I grabbed my phone and dialed the police. My voice trembled as I told them everything. The creepy masked dude, the scary guys at my door with guns, the threats. I spilled it all out in a hurry. After what felt like forever, I heard police sirens wailing in the distance. Relief flooded over me, but not for long. Another knock echoed through my apartment. This time, it was the police. Two officers stood outside, their faces serious even through the tiny peephole. I told the police everything, the game, the masked dude, the threats, and the guys with guns. The more I talked, the more worried the officers looked. When I finished, they said I couldn't stay at home that night. It was too dangerous. They also told me something even scarier. This wasn't just happening to me. Apparently, other gamers like me had found the same game and gotten the same threats. The police said it was all part of a big, bad plan by the Darkweb Mafia, a terrifying game where they were the ones in control. Without thinking twice, I grabbed my laptop bag, the root of all this trouble, and followed the police outside. As I climbed into the back of the police van, my mind raced. What was going to happen next? This night had gone totally crazy in a way I never could have imagined. We pulled away in the van, and that's when I saw it. A black car parked on a deserted street, like a bad omen in the dark. It was creepy, especially at this hour. Before I could even think about it, the car doors flew open and two guys in black coats, just like the ones at my door, jumped out. My stomach lurched. What were they doing here? Why were they getting in the van with us? I tried super hard to listen to their conversation with the officers, but it was all hushed whispers. Still, I caught enough words to make my blood run cold. They were talking about the game, the dark web, and me. A scary thought hit me like a ton of bricks. Were the police working with these guys? Was this all some messed up game? The line between the fake world of the game and real life was blurring, and I was stuck right in the middle, not knowing who to trust. Confused and scared out of my mind, I turned to the police officers. "What's going on?" I mumbled, barely a whisper. The officers looked at each other for a second, then one of them finally spoke. "Those guys," he said, pointing to the men in black coats. "They're the Mafia. Darkweb Mafia." My jaw dropped. Mafia? I'd heard stories, of course, about super powerful gangs hiding on the dark web, but I never thought I'd actually meet them. "And you," the officer said, his face getting serious, "you messed with them badly." His words hit me hard. I thought it was all a game, a fun adventure on the dark web. But I was way wrong. I'd stumbled into a super dangerous world, messing with people I shouldn't have. Now I was stuck paying the price. The van kept driving, taking me nowhere familiar. The city lights disappeared, replaced by creepy darkness. I had no idea where we were going, and the not knowing was the scariest part. All I could do was hope I'd see another sunrise. Hello folks, I'm Andy, the typical man of the city. But here's the wonderful thing. I enjoy finding out how to generate money online. Isn't the internet awesome? You may exchange items such as digital currency or sell them to others all around the world. It's like a massive video game to me, full of possibilities and experiences. One super cold night, I was hanging out in my room messing around on the internet when I came across something called the Darkweb. It's like a secret part of the internet, super mysterious, where you can find anything you want if you know the right buttons to push. I was totally pumped to check it out. There's this one moment I'll never forget. I was way deep in the dark web, surrounded by weird words and scrambled codes, when I saw a link that looked different. Without even thinking, I clicked on it. Oh no, big mistake. My computer screen went all faded, then totally blacked out. My stomach did a flip-flop. Did I just do something super dumb? Even though I knew the dark web was risky, I never expected to get hacked. I generally stay careful, but this time my curiosity got the best of me. Now some stranger on the dark web has complete control of my computer, maybe including all of my personal information. This terrifying, mysterious person seems to have complete control over my life. My computer screen flickered back on, but everything was totally messed up. My usual wallpaper was gone, replaced by weird symbols and programs I'd never seen before. My heart hammered in my chest like a drum solo. I just handed my computer over to a hacker. Everything felt like it was happening in slow motion as I read a message on the screen. It said, in creepy letters, "Hey Andy, you should have been more careful." The message echoed in my head, each word a reminder of my giant mistake. The real chills started after that creepy message. My laptop, which used to be my best friend, is now my worst enemy. It started playing these distorted, spooky voices that sounded like monsters, not people. They filled the room and made me feel like I was going to explode from fear. But what is the absolute worst part? A countdown clock popped up on my screen, ticking away like a bomb about to go off. Each second that disappeared felt like a step closer to disaster. The hacker was demanding money from me, and the countdown was like a taunt saying, "Pay up or else." I watched in total horror as the numbers on the screen got smaller and smaller. The creepy voices got louder, the sounds got scarier, and the countdown just kept ticking away. I was stuck in a nightmare with no escape. The countdown clock raced towards 0, each tick sending shivers down my spine. I had no clue what would happen when it hit rock bottom, but it definitely wouldn't be sunshine and rainbows. I squeezed my eyes shut, the creepy voices and scary sounds bouncing around in my head like a haunted house. All I could do was wait for the worst. But then, enough was enough. I couldn't just sit there like a scared cat and let this hacker maliciously control my life. I had to fight back, but how do you punch someone hiding behind a computer screen? This enemy was like a ghost, invisible and impossible to catch. In a panic, I made a crazy choice. If I couldn't turn off the laptop or disconnect from the internet, there was only one last move. I had to smash the whole thing. The voices were getting louder by the second, and the sounds were turning into pure nightmare fuel. The countdown kept ticking, a constant threat hanging over my head. But I couldn't give in. I wouldn't let this hacker bully me. Taking a deep breath, I lifted the laptop high in the air. With all my force, I slammed it down on the floor. The screen exploded into a million pieces, and the creepy sounds screeched to a halt. Silence filled the room, broken only by my ragged breathing. I stood there, surrounded by the pieces of my laptop. The nightmare was finally over. It was over. I had won, or so I thought. After the incident, I had a sensation of emptiness. The quiet in the room was deafening, in sharp contrast to the odd voices and horrible sounds that had filled it only seconds before. I gazed at the remains of my laptop, a painful reminder of the trauma I'd just been through. But the nightmare wasn't over. Even though I had destroyed the laptop, my personal details were still out there, somewhere in the depths of the dark web. The thought sent a chill down my spine. I was still vulnerable, still at risk. But I won't let the fear control me. I won't let the hacker win. I will continue to fight to protect my identity and my life. Because I am not just a victim, I am a survivor, and I will not be defeated. Hey there, I'm Alex, a college student, well, kind of ordinary except for my friends and me. We're not into parties or sports, but the mysteries of the internet, that's our style. We spend hours on our computers, screens glowing blue, diving deep into the web. Not the normal stuff everyone uses, but the dark web, a super secretive hidden part. It's like a mystery zone with its own rules totally off the radar. We knew the dark web was risky, full of bad stuff and danger, but it was also exciting, like exploring something new. Nobody knew what was out there, and that was too difficult to resist, so, with our computer skills and a lot of curiosity, we decided to jump in. We had no idea this would be the adventure of a lifetime. One day, while wandering through hidden chats and secret websites, I found something crazy. It was an invitation to a mysterious game on the dark web, promising a wild experience unlike anything else. It was extremely cryptic, simply asking, "Are you ready to play?" The invitation was super cool, nothing like any game we'd ever seen. A dark web game, it seemed scary and maybe even a bad idea, but it was also totally awesome. We loved a good challenge, and this felt like the ultimate test of our brains and bravery. We talked about it a bunch. Brian freaked, saying it could be dangerous. Charlie, though, was pumped for the adventure. I wasn't sure what to think, but the mystery was too much to resist. We decided to play. We didn't know what we were getting into, but that was part of the fun. We were about to explore something totally new, something that would test how brave and smart we were. We had no idea it would also test our friendship. We all set up our computers at home, making sure we were safe. The game was creepy, full of mind-bending puzzles that made us think really hard. It was weird, but we couldn't stop playing. Solving a puzzle gave us this amazing rush, like a superpower. It was way more exciting than anything we'd ever done. The game was unlike anything we'd ever seen. It was like a giant maze made of codes and weird symbols, with challenges that just kept coming. Each puzzle was trickier than the last, and the clues were super confusing. We spent hours, even days, trying to figure them out, feeling like detectives in a crazy mystery. The deeper we went into the game, the scarier it got. It wasn't just puzzles anymore. It felt like the game was trying us on purpose, and it pushed us to be brave and to keep going even when we were scared. It was like it was trying to find our weak spots and our biggest fears. Even though we were freaked out, we couldn't quit. The game had us hooked, like we were stuck in a trance. It felt like bugs flying towards a light, even though we knew it could burn us. The more we played, the more messed up things became. My computer screen would turn bright blue for a second, then go back to normal as if nothing happened. Brian's phone kept getting weird messages that didn't make any sense at all. And Charlie's laptop? That was the worst. It would shut down and turn back on by itself, even when it was fully charged. We thought it was just our stuff messing up at first, like random computer problems, but then it happened more and more. It felt like the game was somehow leaking into our real lives, mixing everything together. We weren't just playing the game anymore, we were becoming part of it, and we had no idea how to escape. The deeper we went, the scarier it got. This wasn't a normal game anymore. It felt like something way out of our league, something that didn't follow any rules. We tried to quit, shut down our computers, and forget the whole thing. But we were stuck. The game wouldn't let us go. Then came the ultimate challenge. The game threatened to leak all our personal information on the dark web if we didn't upload a picture of ourselves. It was like a super creepy message saying, "Show us your face or everyone will see your secrets." We were scared out of our minds. We heard stories about people's lives getting ruined because someone stole their information. We didn't want that to happen to us. We tried to quit again, but it was too late. We were in too deep. The game wouldn't let us escape. It felt like being stuck in a nightmare, screaming, but no one could hear us. We had a horrible choice. Give the game a picture of ourselves or risk having all our personal information leaked. No matter what we did, we were going to lose. But we were stuck in a game we couldn't win, all because we were curious about the dark web. We were desperate, so we decided to fight back. We contacted cybersecurity, the people who fight computer crime. We told them everything about the creepy game and the threats it made. We were just college students way in over our heads, and we needed help fast. Cybersecurity helped us delete the game from our computers. It wasn't easy. It was like untangling a giant mess of codes and security stuff. But finally, we were free. We were disconnected from the dark web and the horrible game that made our lives miserable. Even though we escaped the game, it left its mark on us. We weren't curious about the dark web anymore. We were just scared. We promised ourselves to stay away from it and stick to the normal internet. We learned a big lesson the hard way, one we'd never forget. The scariest part? Even though we got rid of the game, some of our information might still be out there on the dark web. It's like a creepy reminder of our adventure, a shadow we can't get rid of. We tried to go back to normal, but that experience changed us forever.